and you don't know what they're doing to maintain it. We have to stop following other people and walk to the beat of our own drum. See, there's a power in being uncommon. Matter of fact, Theodore Roosevelt at that time in history was indeed uncommon. He was the youngest president back in the early 19th century, and he said, I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity and not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humble and dull by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream, to build, to fail, to succeed. I refuse to live hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to a guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the stale calm of utopia. I will not trade freedom for beneficence nor dignity for a handout. It's my heritage to think and act for myself, to enjoy the benefits of my creation and face this world boldly and say, with God's help, this I have done. Health equals hope. Hope equals everything. If you have health, you have hope. If you have hope, you have everything. How many of you also know that they say that the mind is a terrible thing to waste? Do you all know that the mind is a terrible thing to waste? That's why I say knowledge by itself is not power, but applied knowledge is power. But to be able to apply that knowledge, you have to be willing to use your mind. See, I go throughout the country all the time talking to young and old, trying to convince them that the mind is a terrible thing to waste. Sometimes I have a problem convincing them of that fact. You see, there was a commercial back in the early 80s, all through the 80s, after Soul Train. How many of you used to watch Soul Train on Saturdays, right? With Don Cornelius. And there was a commercial that was sponsored by the United Negro College Fund. And the mantra at the end of this commercial would say that the mind is a terrible thing to waste. Right? How many of y'all remember that? Now, there was another commercial during the 80s when crack cocaine and drugs hit our communities and our streets hard. We have uncles on drugs, we have fathers on drugs, we have mothers and brothers, grandparents, things that are affecting our community because of crack cocaine, heroin, and all these drugs that have invaded our community, which is a public health issue, in my opinion. But there was a commercial back then sponsored by the drug czar named William Biggett. And he showed a gentleman standing over a frying pan. Many of y'all remember that? And he had 2 eggs in his hand. And he cracked the eggs, and the yolk fell in the skillet and it started to fry it. He said, this is your mind on drugs. Well, even though I go throughout the country talking about these issues, trying to convince people, I tell people all the time that the mind is more powerful, young people, than an Xbox 360. The mind is more powerful than any computer, satellite, spaceship, airplane, anything that was ever designed. You know why? Because the mind created those things. But there's a technical definition of the mind that I like to share whenever I speak. How many of you want to know what the mind really is? Does anybody want to know what the mind really is? The mind is an electrical chemical reduction plant that integrates segregated states of special energy abstract like storage batteries. The mind has 62,000 miles of capillaries, which is its own extraordinary complex mechanism. It's guided with exquisite precision. It has a telescopic and microscopic rangefinder. It has a spectroscope with its own main fuel, energy, intake, and exhaust system. May I suggest to you, ladies and gentlemen, that the mind is a terrible thing to waste. So as I get ready to take my seat, I would encourage and implore that each and every one of you in here go around to all of the vendors' tables, see what they have to offer, see what information that they have that you can take back and use for yourself, that you can take back and use for your family, so that your health does become your business. And what I want to leave you with is somebody said it couldn't be done, but he would have chuckled replied that maybe it couldn't, but he'd be the one who wouldn't say so till he tried. So he buckled in with a bit of a grin on his face, and he smiled and he hit it. He started to sing as he tackled that thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed, or you'll never do that. At least no one has ever done it. But he took off his coat, he took off his hat, and the first thing we know is he got it. With a lift of a grin and a bit of a grin, without any doubting or quitting, he started to sing as he tackled that thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands to tell you it couldn't be done. There are thousands to prophesy failure. There are thousands to point out to you one by one the dangers that wait to assail you. But just buckle in with a bit of a grin, just take off your coat and go to it. Just start to sing as you tackle that thing that couldn't be done, and you'll do it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's tackle these health issues in our community. Let's tackle these violence issues in our community. Let's tackle all of these social ills and issues in our community. Your health, your business. Thank you.
Thank you, Mac. Y'all go see my man over here at his table. He got some good stuff. Your health is your business.